Hey everyone, it's Heather Nichols, and today I'm going to share how you can decorate Easter eggs with stenciling and stitching to create these adorable Easter basket tags. I'm using the Egg-stra Special Stencil and Die combo set. This set allows you to stencil all sorts of designs on an Easter egg die cut shape. Several of the stencils coordinate with the Get Thready Easter eggs die collection, so you can add stitching to your Easter egg designs. I'll also be using the Diamonds Piercing Plate. I'm using the Tag Stacklets 2 and the Pierced Tag Stacklets 2 die collections, along with the die from the Tag Reinforcements die collection. For sentiments on my tag, I'm using the Joyful Joyful stamp set and the coordinating dies. For ink colors, I'm using Banana Cream Pie, Saltwater Taffy, and Macaron. I'm using blender brushes to coordinate with my ink colors, pixie spray to hold my stencils in place, DMC embroidery floss, and a tapestry needle for my stitching, white embossing powder, VersaMark ink, and my powder tool for embossing, Copic opaque white ink and my water brush to add splatters, clear drip drops, and multi-medium matte, a 1/4 inch hole punch, burlap twine for the top of my tags, and a few different foam square adhesives. Here's a closer look at the Get Thready Easter egg die collection, and also the stencils from the Egg-stra Special Stencil and Die combo set that coordinate with them. There are 2 of the larger egg designs and 2 of the smaller egg designs. To do stitching with the stencil designs, you need to cut out the eggs with the Get Thready Easter eggs die collection first. I cut these out of sugar cube cardstock. Next, I'll add color to the eggs by using the stencils with my blender brushes. I like to use pixie spray to hold my stencils in place. Then I'll line the stencils right up over the die cut design and use my blender brushes to apply ink through the stencil openings. Now it's time to add the stitching. I chose 3 DMC embroidery floss colors to go with my ink colors, 745, 927, and 210. I'm using a tapestry needle, and I'll use all 6 strands of embroidery floss to do my stitching. I'm going to share a few of the basic stitches that I use to decorate my eggs, but of course you can get creative and use any kind of embroidery stitch that you would like. For this egg, I'm going to use the running stitch, which means I'm going to come up the first hole and then go down the second hole. And I'll repeat this process, coming up the next hole, going down the next hole. This will fill in a stitch in every other space. Then I'm going to double back and go back the other opposite direction, and I'm going to fill in those empty stitch spaces with running stitches going in the opposite direction. I'll repeat these steps for each stripe on the egg until I have stitched the entire design. For this egg, I'm using the back stitch, which means I'm going to create the stitches by coming up in the hole on the front part of the stitch and then going down in the hole in the back part. So I'm basically looping my thread up the front and down the back to create the stitches. I did the back stitch again on this egg design. For this last egg, I did a cross-stitch design. Each polka dot has 4 holes. I did my first stitch vertically, going from the bottom to the top, and then my second stitch went side to side, going over the top of the first stitch to create the cross-stitch design. I repeated this stitch on each of the polka dots on this egg. Here's a look at all of my stenciled and stitched eggs, including a few different variations that I did on additional eggs. Now that the eggs are all decorated, let's make tags. I used the diamonds piercing plate to impress the backgrounds for the tags. I cut out these backgrounds with a pierced Tag Stacklets 2 die, and then cut out tag bases from Toffee cardstock using a Tag Stacklets 2 die. I attached each of the backgrounds to the Toffee tag bases, and then I added white splatters to the tags and the eggs using Copic opaque white ink. I embossed the Happy Easter sentiment from the Joyful Joyful stamp set in white on the coordinating cardstock colors for each of the tags, and I cut the sentiments out with the coordinating die. I also cut out a circle reinforcement for each of the tags from the Tag Reinforcements die collection. I punched a hole at the top of each tag with the 1/4-inch hole punch, and then I added the circle reinforcements over the hole, attaching them with multimedia mat to each tag. I adhered the eggs and the sentiments to the tag bases using a variety of foam adhesives. For the largest egg, I used a thin foam square, and then for the smaller egg, I used a standard foam square so that it sits up just a little bit higher than the larger egg. I attached the sentiments to the bottom of the tags with foam sticky strips, and that pops the sentiment up just a little bit higher than the eggs. I used multimedia mat to adhere clear drip drops around the eggs and sentiment. The final step is adding burlap twine to the top of the tags so that I can tie the tags onto Easter baskets. These tags are done, and I hope you enjoyed learning how to decorate eggs with stenciling and stitching. You can find supplies that I used to create my Easter basket tags in the Tailored Expressions web store at tailoredexpressions.com. Thanks so much for joining me, everybody, and I'll see you next time.